rolling here. Take it when you're ready.
Welcome to the LA Home Show. I am your host, Natasha Phillips, and today we have with us interior designer Scott Thomas. Hi, Scott.
Howdy.
We're so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So, Scott, I'd love to know how you got into design.
Well, you know, as a young person and kid, I always was creative, kind of bent towards the fabulous and the edgy. My parents did nothing to squash that. And basically, when I got out of college, I took my first job here in LA, kind of fell into it, kind of loved it. I knew it was right for me. Although I pretty much figured out that I wasn't going to be such a great employee forever. I'm a much better boss and creative director, and I want this kind of thing. I started my own business in 2004, and I've been working hard at it since then. So we're in the same place. We've been doing the same thing for 16 years, I guess. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what keeps your passion alive?
Every one of our clients is a different human or business, and they all need something different that needs to be addressed in a different way. And so every design that we produce is a one-off. And so I'm not going to produce the same design over and over and over again. So yeah, everything is tailor-made and a one-off. So it needs to be a singular piece of art, whatever we're working on. And even if it's a tiny little thing, like doing a kitchen or something, whatever, it has to be fantastic, because I want my clients to call me again and to refer their friends, and that's how it works.
That's great. So what's been the most interesting project that you've worked on?
Oh wow, there's so many. The ones that are the most interesting are the ones that are completely out of left field, sort of, for me. Right now, I'm working on a project in West Hollywood for a speakeasy that we're actually building on top of a roof.
Oh, wow.
For real. And just doing the designs for something that's completely conceptual like that was fantastic. And they do want it to be kind of sneaky, and it's a speakeasy, and you're gonna have to give a code word to get in. And working with the owners who have a, you know, a great vision, but of course, I'm translating that. And so I'm not doing anything retro. It's totally gonna be celebrity driven and high end and beautiful, and we're gonna mix a lot of styles. But that one's really fun because it's totally different. You know, we're building something on a roof that's never been there before, which I like.
That sounds awesome.
A project in a big, I guess you would call it a mansion, in Hancock Park from the 20s, and translating that into today's style and keeping all the beautiful things that were there. You know, that was a big challenge. You know, and you know, making it grand and beautiful, and you've seen my work, right? It's pretty simple and clean and kind of male-oriented, you know. But I really got in there and just said, let's just raise the scale on everything by 5 times. You know, everything needs to be a lot bigger. All the chandeliers need to be, you know, 3,000 pounds or something. So, things that are out of the norm, I find exciting at this point in my career.
So what has been like the most hair-raising or difficult project that you've worked on?
Oh, you know, every project has some kind of thing that goes on that has to be dealt with. I don't know, you know, war stories are one thing that we all, us designers, all get together and tell war stories, probably like real estate agents. I couldn't believe you said that. I guess what my thing is, the hardest thing for me is to overcome is when clients aren't nice or misbehaving, as it were. And I've really gotten to a point in my career where I can kind of choose the people, and so I really test them out to make sure they're cool people and they're going to be fun to work with, not easy to work with, but fun to work with and challenge me and challenge them, because you know, bad attitudes and that kind of thing, that doesn't suit well with my personality. Does that help? Okay.
So what's your process? So a client comes to you and like walk me through that.
Sure. So our process is very traditional, like most all interior design firms. We're not huge, but you know, as far as a big thing, I don't have tons of employees. There's just 3 of us doing this, which is perfect for my group. But yeah, basically the process is very simple. first up, we meet with the client, we find out what they want, what they're looking for, if it's a good fit for my company. You know, those things are very important. Then we get an idea of really into what they want, swap a lot of photos, get into what they want. We come up with an interior design plan, which we present to them with all the samples. If we're going to use this marble, this is a chunk of marble here, and we're going to use that. Then it's up to the client to decide to approve everything. And if they have changes, then I need to make those changes and get back to them. But once we have an interior design plan that's approved by the client, then we go into what we call production, which is construction, hiring all the people that have to be done, and all the people we work with to make the dream reality. So yeah, basically the client's in charge of driving. We throw out the creative, they approve it, and then it goes into production. And when it's done, everyone's a happy camper.
Oh, that sounds great. So Scott, tell me, where can clients find you?
Usually most of my clients find me through referrals from people I've worked with. But of course, I'm everywhere like everyone has to be if you own a business in LA, okay? So, you know, obviously I have my own website, it's scottthomasinteriordesign.com. I have Instagram, I have Facebook, YouTube, you know, all the stuff people have. So actually, if you just look up Scott Thomas Interior or something like that, you would find me. There's 8 or 9 pages of stuff on Google. You know, I'm hard to miss. It's basically everything I've said to the media or ever wrote, and it's all right there. Pretty easy to find, but you know, I'll be really honest with you, very few people just call from out of nowhere and say, I want to have you.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, a lot of them are referrals from groups I belong to, other designers, contractors, people I work with in the industry, because, you know, I've been kind of entrenched here for a while.
So it sounds like you use a lot of social media. It's changed the business.
It's changed my business because we have to constantly come up with content, and which is good because when you've been doing it as long as we have, we got a lot of it. And we're also doing some really fantastic projects. Like for instance, my Instagram feed is the same as the Facebook feed, but it's really more process oriented. Like I'll show a picture of a great floor that we just finished, you know, or a chandelier we're going to buy, or some fabrics, or a palette of things we're going to do for a bathroom. On my website are fully completed projects that are fully realized, and you don't see any of the stuff that goes into it. So what I tried to do there was just say, hey, you guys, if you love interior design, here's what the process is. You got to figure out the flooring. Then you got to figure out some window treatments. You got to do all this stuff. And so I show that, and I try to show it in a singularly beautiful way. So in a lot of ways, it's really helped me stick out and try new things, because I'm kind of like, oh, I can't put anything boring up on Instagram, right? You know, so I guess it does.
Great. So do you have any tips for people out there?
Sure. I got all kinds of them.
So give us like maybe 2.
Tips and tricks.
Like your top pick, maybe.
Well, I think it's maybe what I've discussed a little bit earlier is scale.
Yeah.
I think scale is the biggest mistake anybody makes on their own, and frankly most interior designers make. If the furniture and the pieces are too small in the room, it looks weird. It's just weird. And there's a million options. We live in LA, there's a million things to buy, okay? And yeah, you need to, I would say for anybody on their own trying to whip up something, think about scale. If it's a big room, you need big furniture. If it's a small room, you need smaller furniture and you need less of it, okay? So like I love small spaces because they're such a challenge. It's all about storage. That would be my tip number 2. You live in a small space and you're doing that. It's really all about storage, not furniture and art. Take care of your storage first, and then you have to have a few select pieces because you don't have a big space. And that stuff takes care of itself, but if you have no storage and a small space, you have a mess.
So Scott, what's your favorite piece of furniture?
Favorite piece? I always kind of lean towards sofas and sectionals and that kind of thing.
Do you have a reason for that?
Lord only knows. I guess what I want to do is I want my clients to be really comfortable and not, my interiors are not fussy. at all. They're not fussy, they're not perfect, they're not meant to be perfect. They're meant to be lived in and sat on, and a mark on that sofa, that is just fine. So trying to find things that are going to work with the client's lifestyle, that's what I really focus on.
That's great. So
Yeah.
Scott, as our final question, I'd love to know, what are you most excited about? Could be or work-related right now?
Oh, wow. I'm excited about all kinds of things because I love art and I love going out and doing things. Most of my inspiration comes from, believe it or not, museums and like I said, I just got back from Europe, which, you know, all these beautiful things and things we don't have here. It's new experiences that fuse my life and my work, mainly my life, and it will get down to my work. So I'm kind of selfish that way. I want all that stuff first, and then I'll translate it out to the world.
That's good. You have to feed your soul before you can feed others.
And I'm with you, girl.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for watching the LA Home Show, where we discuss all things real estate, interior design, and much, much more.
Beautiful.